I'm talking about ministry, and I'm talking about money and marriage. These are two powerful things that every one of us truly needs to be concerned about. Everyone should be concerned about the subject of ministry and marriage. It's something that we all give good attention to. Colossians chapter 4, very beautiful scripture, and I love it so very much. Colossians chapter 4, the Bible says, the NLT version puts it this way, and I like you to look at that. It's on the screen for you. Say to Archippus or Archippus, be sure to carry out the ministry the Lord gave you. Make sure that you carry out the ministry that the Lord gave you. So if you're listening to me right now, it's important for you to know that you were actually born for a purpose. Oh, come on. It's important for you to know how important you are. You are so important to God that He sent His only Son to come and die for you. Why did He send His Son to come and die for you? Because the reason why you were born must not be negated. The reason why you were born must not be compromised. So you were born for a purpose and designed for an assignment. Write that down. I am born for a purpose and designed for an assignment. My makeup, my design is for a specific assignment. Now, that assignment that you are actually designed to carry out is what we call ministry. That specific assignment, something that you alone is wired to carry out, is what we call your ministry. Ministry is the unique purpose and the unique assignment that you were born and born again to pursue and to fulfill. Does that make sense? Ministry is the unique purpose and the unique assignment that you were born and then born again in order to pursue and fulfill. So the reason why God came after you, the reason why the love of God followed you down to the beer parlor, the reason why the hand of the Lord followed you down to the guttermost and picked you up, the reason why God followed you to the brothel, the reason why God followed you to your boyfriend's house and girlfriend's house and saved you from the beer parlor, the reason why God followed you to the university and saved you from the university, the reason why God had to allow some situations to happen around you so you can give your life to Him is because of purpose. Marriage is the coming together of two unique individuals for the purpose of carrying out a God-given assignment. Did you hear that? Marriage is the coming together of two unique individuals for the purpose of carrying out a God-given assignment. That's simply what marriage is all about. It's a coming together of two individuals who have discovered their uniqueness. So a lost person needs no marriage. You don't use marriage to discover you, all right? You know you, and that's why you come into marriage. Marriage is a place where two unique individuals who have already defined their uniqueness come in together in relationship. Everybody coming with their strengths, everybody coming with a value, somebody coming with a value. You're bringing something to the table. We're coming together, and the purpose is to carry out a God-given assignment. I'd like us to now look at ministry and marriage itself. This is where the rubber meets the road. I was laying foundation, and now it's time for me to fly. Okay, there are 5 major situations we have observed when it comes to marriage and ministry. 5 major situations when it comes to people with assignment and marriages. Here are some of the scenarios we've noticed. We have seen individuals whose ministry is working without marriage. Paul the apostle, his ministry flourished without marriage. And it was wise for Paul the apostle, in order to continue on the trajectory, to continue on the momentum he was building, it was wise for Paul the apostle to remain single and not be married. So he made a choice to continually have success in ministry without marriage. Then we have individuals who have successful marriages, but they don't have a ministry that is effective. And it's not because they may not have an assignment. It's just that they are so locked up in their marriage that they don't have time to build a ministry. The third is a situation where ministry is working, but marriage is suffering. Ministry is doing very well. Publicly, the ministry is thriving. I'm dealing with a situation like that in one of the countries. I will not be specific because the person in question is a very popular person in that country. Now, he's a popular man, but I'm dealing with a situation whereby the marriage is failing. In fact, he's already picked up another woman whilst his own wife is there. So we're having a failed marriage, and then we have a situation where the ministry publicly is thriving. Number 4, we have situations whereby you have marriage working, but ministry is suffering. Marriage is working, but ministry is suffering. This is another scenario. And we've seen that happen in several cases also, where the marriage is doing very well, but the individuals are suffering so badly in ministry. Whatever it is, that their career is not moving on well, but they have a good home, they have good kids, but their business is not working, career is not working, ministry in terms of church is not working. Things are just not working. But in terms of family, they love each other, they are always together, they have each other. They may not have success in ministry, but they have a family. And lastly, you have a situation whereby ministry and marriage all working effectively. The marriage is doing very well, the ministry is doing very well, children are doing very well, business is doing very well, money is coming in, impact is taking place, lives are being touched, and all of that. You have individuals who are enjoying that. All right, let's look at an example of effective ministry and marriage. There's a man called Jonathan Edwards. I'm sure some of you have heard about Jonathan Edwards. His name, he happens to be the one who wrote Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. Jonathan Edwards, Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. Yeah, he wrote that, and he was married to a precious woman called Sarah. And together they raised a number of children. And today, looking back generations after, we have a situation whereby the Edwards are still known and renowned in America. The Edwards family are still thriving. They are still doing very well. An example of an ineffective ministry and marriage is that of John Wesley. Now, I'm going to read something that will shock you, that was written by John Wesley. When Molly left John Wesley, somebody called on John Wesley. John Wesley was talking with his brother, and listen to what he said to his brother. The only thing he wrote about her in his own journal, the only place where you will see him mention her name in his own journal, this is what he said about her. He said, finally she left for good. You can't believe that. John Wesley, upon realizing his wife left, he wrote, penned it down, and he said, finally she left for good. Listen to what he now said. He said, I did not forsake her. I did not dismiss her. Okay, so you would have got a thought about what should follow next. If you did not forsake her, you did not dismiss her, what should you do if you realize she has left? You go bring her back. No, listen to what John Wesley said. He said, I did not forsake her. I did not dismiss her. I will not recall her. Did you hear what I just said right now? This is from the father of the Methodist Church. A man we all respect, and we still do till tomorrow. But I'm only trying to tell you how that if you don't manage your ministry and your marriage well, your assignment, your calling, if you don't manage it well with your relationship, it can become the major source of pain in your life. Let me share with you 9 powerful secrets of managing effective ministry and marriage. 9 powerful secrets that will enable you to begin to work towards managing an effective career, effective ministry, effective assignment, and your marriage. Number 1, manage ministry and marriage uniqueness. Manage your ministry, your assignment, your calling, manage it with marriage uniqueness. What that tells you is that if you're really going to have an effective ministry and marriage, it is critical that the two parties coming together must understand your uniqueness. The two of you must understand. Please follow me carefully. I'm not going to rush this. The two of you must understand fundamentally your uniqueness, your unique temperaments, your unique predispositions, your unique reactions to life, your unique worldview. It's important that you understand your uniqueness. Number two, I'm talking about becoming a power couple. How to become a power couple. You must learn to manage ministry and marriage expectations. What does that mean? It is critical for you to understand that if your relationship is going to do extremely well and your career is also going to continue to thrive, you need to know the unique expectations of your partner. What does she want? What does he want? What does she need? What does he need? What is she looking for in marriage? What is he looking for? It is critical for the two of you to be able to do what we call management of expectations. What are you expecting from me? Can I offer it to you? Uh-oh, come on. Did you hear what I just said right now? Sometimes your partner comes into relationship with you expecting from you what only God can give to your partner. Power couples do everything possible to build an effective communication. I want to share something with you that you must never forget. If you intend to become a power couple, study power couples all over the world. You know, two things have been discovered that keeps power couples together. Two things. They manage their sexual lives very well, and they manage communication very well. Number 4, if you're going to become a power couple where you are succeeding in your career, your partner is succeeding, and the marriage is doing very well, your kids are doing very well, here's something you need to also give attention to. Write this down. Power couples manage ministry, manage career, and marriage demands. Don't forget this. Power couples, highly successful, high-performing couples, they know what it takes to make a marriage and their careers to work. They know what it will take. They know what it costs to keep a thriving career and a thriving marriage going on. They know what it takes. And here's the point. They are willing to give it. They are willing to make the sacrifice required for their marriage and their career to thrive. If it requires communication, we will give it to it. You need to manage marriage, ministry, and seasons. There will be different seasons. Naturally, we have winter, autumn, fall, we have summer, and all of that. In Africa, we don't have all the 4. Is that okay? But we have all the 4 in 2. In Africa, we have dry season and we have rainy season. Okay, we have dry season, rainy season, and then Harmattan, something, in between, or towards the tail end. Now, here's the point I want to make. Life does not have one season. Life, for everything, there is a time and a season. There is a time and a season, a time to embrace, a time to stay away from embracing, a time where everything is about time and seasons. In marriage and relationship, power couples understand the timings and the seasons they find themselves in and make adjustments to those times and seasons. I'm talking about making sure you find a way to ensure that as a couple, if you want to be a power couple, you need to be sensitive to the change of seasons. Hey, here's what I want to say. Not just change of season in your marriage, be sensitive to the change of season in your partner's life. Wow. Be sensitive to the change of season in your partner's life. It's very critical if you're going to build a very powerful relationship that will thrive both now and in the times to come. It's important that we talk about this all-important subject today. as we look at your assignment. We look at marriage, and we look at money. How does all of this, how does it play out in having, in us having a very healthy marriage, family, and successful future? These are the things that we're going to be looking at today. Welcome to the Relationship Masterclass. My name is Sam Oye, and absolutely glad and smart to connect with you again today. And I am going to be hitting the ground running. And I hope that you'll be kind enough to share the video right now. Let your friends know that we are actually online. I'll be so glad if you would just have that few minutes, few seconds, and just punch that button, share the video right now, and let somebody else know that we are online right now. Well, quickly, I want to get into the heart of our conversation today, and I'm going to be talking to you on how to have a very solid mix of your assignment. That is your assignment, what you're called to be, which is what you call your ministry. And then how do you balance that up with a good relationship and finances? I'm going to be looking at all of that today. Don't forget that I started with a scripture in the book of Colossians chapter 4, verse 17. Paul was talking to, Timothy. And Paul said to Timothy, he said, tell Archippus to be sure to carry out the ministry the Lord gave to him. Every one of us, it's important for you to understand that we came into this world with a major assignment to carry out. You came into this world to carry out a significant assignment. You are on assignment. God sent you here on assignment. It is very true that although your conception may not be according to your parents' plans, it may not even be according to their birth plan, but the reality of the matter is that your birth is both in the purpose, plan, and timing of God. I'm going to say that again. It is very true that some of us, our parents will tell us, I wasn't expecting to take in when I took in of your pregnancy. I mean, for your birth and all of that. I wasn't planning, or it was not my plan, or it was our plan. Whether it was your parents' plan or not their plan, how you were conceived, it's important for you to know that you were actually in God's purpose, you were in God's plan, and you were in God's timing. You came into this world right about the time when you needed to come into this world. You came into this world to fulfill a purpose. You came into this world to carry out a plan. You were born with a unique purpose, and you were designed to carry out a unique assignment. I'm going to say that again. You were born for a unique purpose, and you are designed to carry out a specific assignment. You were born for a very unique purpose. There's a specific reason why you were sent into this world. It's critical for you to understand that. And beyond all of that, it is also important for you to know that you are here on a specific assignment. Your assignment is specific. I told you yesterday that when you have a specific assignment given by God to a specific person at a specific time and place to a specific people, we say that you have what we call a ministry. Whether it is in the world of media, in the world of entertainment, in the world of governance, if you have a specific assignment that is going to change lives, that is going to change society, that is going to change the lives of people around the world, if you have a specific assignment that is given to you by God at a specific time that we find ourselves in, to a specific group of people, young people, singles, married. You have an assignment to people in the Caribbean, assignment to people in Australia, Africa, villages. If you have an assignment to professionals, to artisans, once you have a specific assignment at a specific time to a specific group of people, we say that you have a ministry. So a ministry does not happen within the walls of the church alone. In actual fact, real ministry happens outside of the walls of the church. So it's critical for you to understand that if God has sent you to teach young people, to train young people, to help elderlies and all of that, whatever your specific assignment is, it is critical for you to know that we call that your assignment. All right? And that is your ministry. Okay, so it's important for you now to get this concept right. When you have an assignment, when you have a ministry, when you have something God has called you to carry out in your lifetime, who you do it with matters. Who you carry the assignment out with matters. It is sometimes better to carry out your assignment alone than for you to get married to the wrong person and find out that you are either going to neglect the person, neglect your marriage and pursue the assignment, or you will have to give up your assignment to resolve marital issues. That is why next to God, the most important thing you want to quickly define in your life is, who am I partnering with? Who is going to be my wife? Who is going to be my husband? Because if you get it wrong there, it's going to affect your ministry expression. Write that down. It's going to affect your ministry expression. That is very critical for you to understand. So don't forget what I said to you. You were born for a unique assignment. You were born for a unique purpose, and you were designed also to carry out that specific assignment called a ministry. I was able to tell you yesterday that ministry is the unique purpose and assignment you were born and born again to carry out on earth. Ministry is that specific assignment that you were born and you were born again to pursue and fulfill. It is the only thing that will give you real joy. Money is good, but ministry, pursuing and fulfilling ministry, brings satisfaction. So if you really want to be satisfied in this life, you need to figure out what you were born originally to carry out. I'm not talking about your ambition. Your ambition is inferior to your assignment. Did you hear what I just said right now? Write that down. Ambition is inferior to assignment. Please write that down. Ambition is inferior to assignment. What you design for yourself, what you design as a plan, a goal for yourself, there's nothing wrong with that. It's inferior to what God has designed for you. Paul thought he was born to be a lawyer and an activist for the Jewish religion. Now, that was what he pursued all his life, until when he met with Jesus, and Jesus said, you are more than that. The original design of God for you, Paul, is that you will be an apostle to the Gentiles. Peter thought he was all designed to be a fisherman. When Jesus showed up, Jesus said, Peter, you are more than a fisherman. You will be a fisher of men. All right? When a man called Simon was doing his business as a tax collector, Matthew, the tax collector, when Jesus showed up, Jesus said to him, look, you are more than a tax collector. So here's the point. Every time you have encounters with God, he reveals to you something more than what you are pursuing as an ambition. Moses was taking care of sheep until it was made to know that he was supposed to be the leader of a nation called Israel. The same thing with David. He was taking care of a sheep, of the sheep, when the Lord sent Samuel to anoint him as the king of Israel. The reality is, a moment spent with God will clarify your future. Write that down. A moment spent with God will clarify your future. If you find yourself in a state of confusion, you are in a state where you're not too clear, everything looks hazy and foggy, just a moment with God. You know, let me put it this way. I'm sure you're going to get it. You know, whenever the weather is humid and all of that, if you notice, or maybe it's raining, you notice that visibility becomes poor or impaired because you have too much, fog, moist, and all of that on the glass. Have you noticed that when you turn on your heater, it all of a sudden just clears away everything? The same thing when you spend time with God, it clears away all the doubts and the confusion that surrounds you. Then you are able to gain visibility. And you know this, never forget this, you cannot travel faster than you see. Speed is one thing, direction is another, guidance is another. So running fast in the wrong direction is not the wisest thing to do. And having direction without speed also doesn't make sense. So you need both speed, you need direction, and you need guidance. Right? So it's critical for you to understand that it is the will of God for you to fulfill something. Listen, your assignment, like I said again, is not within the church. So when you hear assignment, it's beyond church context. It's beyond the walls of the church. There are some of you watching me right now, your assignment is in the world of fashion. There are some of you watching me right now, your assignment is in the world of media. There are people watching me right now, your assignment is in the world of education. There are people watching me right now, your assignment, like Daniel, is in the world of government. And there are people also watching me right now, your own assignment is in the world of music, entertainment. Now, it's critical for you to know that once you know what your assignment is, it therefore becomes very important to figure out carefully who should partner with you to carry out that assignment. Once you are hooked onto the wrong person, it will either frustrate your assignment or frustrate your life. Either way, you're not going to be a happy person in the end of the day. So what is marriage? Marriage is the coming together of two unique individuals for the purpose of carrying out a God-given purpose. I'm going to put that out again to you. Marriage is the coming together of two unique individuals for the purpose of carrying out a God-given purpose. So the purpose of marriage is to carry out purpose. Isn't that fantastic? The purpose of marriage is to carry out purpose. So if you want to pursue your purpose, if you want to get married, know that the purpose for getting married to somebody else is to pursue your God-given purpose. It's critical to know that. Let me take it on now to the next dimension, which has to do with getting to understand what we call kingdom power couples. And one of the things that I want to do quickly is that I'm going to be doing a teaching next week on power couples. I hope I will have time to do that. How can you become a power couple? I will touch a little bit on it today, and hopefully I will deal with that next week. All right, today, let's look at this simple insight into the world of kingdom power couples. A kingdom power couple is a role model couple who complements and supports each other. A kingdom power couple is a role model couple who complement and they support each other. So if you really want to fulfill your assignment, make sure that you're partnered with someone who can help you, who can complement you, and who can support you to carry out your assignment as you support the person and complement the person to carry out his or her own assignment also. There are usually 5 different situations that we find when it comes to ministry, assignment, and marriage. When it comes to people pursuing their assignment and also pursuing their marriage, we found that there are 5 different things that we've seen. Number 1, we've seen individuals who are actually pursuing their ministries, they are pursuing their assignment, and they are not interested in marriage. So you found that in the secular world, you have men who are committed to their assignment and they are not interested in getting married. You have women who are committed to their assignment and for some reasons they don't want to get married. Someone like Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey has made up her mind that she's not going to be married. You understand? So she is pursuing her assignment at the expense of without marriage. All right? So she doesn't want to be married. So she said, look, you know what I want to do? I just want to pursue my own assignment. For whatever reason, there are reasons behind that. But the point I'm making is that she's focused on pursuing her assignment without marriage. And then you have individuals who are comfortable with marriage and they are not interested in pursuing anything that has to do with assignment. For them, what really matters is for me to have a wife, have children, make sure I take care of my kids. We're happy. My kids grow up, they get married, that's all. I'm not interested in doing anything in the world. I just want to get income, take care of my children. I'm not interested in making any significant difference in this world other than to get a salary, get job, get money, and that's all. Marriage without ministry. We've seen this scenario playing out severally. We've seen individuals who are comfortable just taking care of their marriage and not ministry. They are not interested in any big assignment. They don't want to do anything to change the world. No, no, just my marriage. Number 3, we have individuals who have ministries that are doing very well and they are married. Don't forget, the first one I mentioned is the case where people's ministries are doing very well, their assignments are doing very well, but they are not interested in getting married. The scenario right now before us is that of individuals whose ministries are doing very well, but they have decided, for some reasons, their marriages are suffering. Their ministries are doing very well. Their assignment, they are getting on well in business. They are doing very well in their career, but they are suffering privately when it comes to marriage. We have individuals like that. I mean, think about someone like Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods had his career was doing very well, but he was having challenges back in his marriage. Eventually, the problem in the marriage of Tiger Woods eventually became a problem in his own career. It affected Tiger Woods and brought him down in the ranking. He struggled to come up, but of course, he still has some little challenges here and there. So you find a situation whereby for Tiger Woods was doing very well in his career, but was struggling in his marriage. And don't forget what I told you, the struggle in the marriage eventually became a struggle in the area of his career. So if you don't give attention to who you partner with as a husband or wife, ultimately after a while it's going to start having a very significant effect and negative impact on your relationship and your marriage. So it's critical that, of course, on your career too, it matters who you pair up with. Never forget that. So the third scenario we have when it comes to marriage and the pursuit of assignment is that of people who are doing very well in their careers, doing very well in business, doing very well in ministry, but they are doing so poorly when it comes to their marriage. I gave you an example yesterday of a man we call John Wesley. John Wesley happens to be the father of the Methodist Church today. He happens to be one of the very, very founding fathers of the Puritan holiness movement. Unfortunately for John Wesley, although he was teaching all these beautiful things, unfortunately for John Wesley, his marriage suffered so badly. This righteous man who goes everywhere preaching the word of the Lord had a marriage that really failed. In fact, the marriage was the worst thing that ever happened to John Wesley. Years ago, we used to blame the wife of John Wesley because when we hear about the fact that she holds his hair and she takes him around the house, we're like, oh my God, he married a very bad wife. Until later, we began to get into a little bit of his life and we discovered that he neglected the woman. The woman was emotionally devastated. The woman was, she was just not taken care of. John Wesley was married more to ministry than married to his wife. John Wesley was married more to ministry than he was married to his wife. The same thing we noticed with William Carey, the father of modern day missions. Went to India. The wife ended up with depression there. Why? Because the man was committed to his assignment and was not given over to his wife. And there are people who are watching me right now, busy men and broken home, busy women and broken home. You're married to your career, neglecting your partner. You are more interested in something else except the person that you're married to. Your obsession is something else other than your partner. And nothing creates frustration in a partner like having a partner whose obsession is something else other than the partner you're married to. I normally say this to couples when I do coaching for them. I said it's a fraud, a monumental fraud of a significant proportion for you to follow somebody to the altar and say, I do. Do you take me to be your lawfully wedded wife, husband, and all of that, to have and to hold? And you said, I do. Was it that you didn't understand what you were saying? And then you said, I do, to have me and to hold me. And then you get into the marriage, what you have is different, what you are holding is different. So this is the root of most frustrations in many relationships. When what we said at the altar is totally different from what you're practicing in the house. You said to have and to hold, all right? But then when we get married, what you have in your hands is your job. What you are holding on to are your friends, family members. You're holding on to other things except the person you vowed to have and to hold. We're in for some really serious moment here today. Would you go ahead before I get deep into this whole conversation today? You know what yesterday was, everybody. So please, would you go ahead right now? I want to plead with you, everybody. Go ahead and share the video right now, because trust me, yesterday was quite emotional for some persons. Some persons got back to me and they were like, Pastor Sam, you don't have an idea what was going on whilst you were speaking, how much impact it was making in the lives of people. Well, we thank God for that. So would you go ahead right now? If you know this is adding value to your life, go ahead and share the video right now. I see some of you saying, right on, Pastor. And I see some other persons saying wisdom and all of that. Now, please go ahead and share. That is the only thing that will give me great joy. I will be so grateful if I see you share the video right now. Yes, I'm talking to everybody here. Marcia, go ahead and share. Ene, go ahead and share. Helen, go ahead. Oh, and Helen, God bless you. Helen Ruben just said, I just shared to 49 groups. Helen, I need you to call me today. I need to talk with you. You just blessed. You just touched my heart. People like you, I need to give you a book. If you're in Abuja, Helen Ruben, please find a way to send your number to me. Send it in the inbox. I need to really appreciate you. You sent it to 49 groups. Thank you so very much. I mean, you are my partner in rescuing marriages and relationships. Some of you belongs to some groups, relationship groups, reunion group. You belong to old school association. Why don't you rescue their marriages? Their marriages are breaking like, bridges are falling. London Bridge is falling now. Now, why don't you just send this to them now? Trust me, you'll be rescuing somebody today. Thank you so very much, my YouTube family. You are always fantastic. Thank you so very much, YouTube family. You're doing a great job. Now, I was talking to you about 5 different situations when it comes to the pursuit of your vision, your dreams, and the pursuit of your assignment. Okay, the pursuit of your dreams, your visions, and your marriage. One of the situations is where you pursue your ministry, your assignment, your goals. You're pursuing it without any partner. You have decided that I'm going to go solo. Like Paul the apostle, Paul said, look, you know what? I'm going to pursue my dreams and I'm not going to get married. Paul considers marriage as a distraction. That was why Paul, when he was teaching, he said those who are going to be married will be clouded up with a lot of cares of this world. How to take care of my husband, how to take care of my... Paul said, listen, I have a serious assignment to carry out and I do not need a distraction. So to that end, Paul made up his mind that in order to pursue his assignment to a logical conclusion, he was not going to get married. All right? There are some people the Bible calls eunuchs. These are people who, by virtue of their biology, or some who have decided to become like that, they have decided to make themselves, or they are made to ensure that they don't get married. All right? Because marriage was going to be a distraction. If you look at the ministry of Samson, you will realize that Samson was always better off when Samson is not involved with a woman. Samson was always doing very well. So please, it's important not to put yourself under societal pressure. If you know you are not good at putting up together with a woman or a man, don't let the pressure from society make you settle into marriage. Marriage is not heaven. In fact, if you're not careful, marriage can become hell on earth. Marriage is beautiful if you choose to be married and operate by the principles and the rules that governs happy marriages, which is what I'm sharing with you now. Marriage is a beautiful thing, but there are people who have chosen not to be married. Elijah was not married, and he had a very fulfilling life. So it's critical for you to sit down and say to yourself, oh, Ibukun, God bless you, Ibukun. Ibukun, I know, God bless you. Please get across to me to Ibukun. I'm going to, wow. Ibukun, I know, said I just shared to 49 groups. Model Oliver said I just shared to 10 groups. God bless you. You are all partners with me when it comes to this whole, this whole rescuing marriage thing. I love you all. Thank you so very much. Ibukun, make sure you get in touch with me. and Model Oliver, make sure you get in touch with me. I want to make sure I put my book in your hands. Is that okay? Thank you so very much. I love it when people take the initiative to partner with God's kingdom and rescue marriages. All right. So here's the point. Please, everybody write this down. I want everybody to write it out so that somebody can be free by your declaration. Everyone is not designed to be married. Everyone is not designed to be married. When I use the word design, I'm talking about the fact that when it comes to your assignment, the nature of your assignment, and sometimes the nature of your making, it's not everyone that should be married. There are some of us who are better off staying single than getting married. Now, refuse to allow societal pressure to make you settle in for marriage. Because if you do that, you will discover that marriage is not compatible with your design. And you will end up frustrating the life of somebody, and your life too will be frustrated. Your assignment will not be accomplished. So let's proceed carefully. Don't forget that I said that there are individuals when it comes to the 5 mix, when it comes to ministry, marriage, and money. There are 5 mix. Number 1, people who are pursuing assignment who have decided they're not going to get married or who don't even need to be married. Number 2, there are individuals who have decided to pursue marriage and don't want to do any other thing outside than take care of their marriage, their children, and go to heaven. Number 3, there are individuals who are married and are pursuing their ministry but frustrating their marriages or being frustrated by their marriages. An example of someone whose marriage was a frustration to him was Moses. I'm sure you remember the story of Moses. He was married to Zipporah. Zipporah happens to be one of the daughters of Jethro, one of the 7 daughters of Jethro from the land of Midian. Now, when Moses left Egypt and came over to he came over to Midian, it's critical for you to understand that Moses saw Zipporah and her 6 other sisters. As soon as Moses got home, shortly after that, he became married to her. When Moses got married to Zipporah, something happened. After a while, Moses, oh good God, please don't miss what I'm about to say now. Don't miss what I'm about to say. Moses left Egypt because of the fact that he killed an Egyptian because he wanted to rescue his people. He fled to the land of the Midian where Jethro was. When he got over there, within a short time, Moses got married to Zipporah. Follow me carefully. After a while, after he had had children with Zipporah, I think he had about 2 boys. After he had had children with Zipporah, Moses then had an encounter with God. And the encounter with God revealed God's purpose for Moses, to Moses. When he had an encounter with God, God said, hey, Moses, you know what? Here's my purpose for your life. Here's where the trouble lies. The purpose of God for Moses' life will require that his children be circumcised. Number 2, that he goes back to Egypt, pull them out of Egypt, the Israelites, pull them out of Egypt and take them to the promised land. Unfortunately, Zipporah was not so inclined. I'm trying to show you where the problem lies. So she was the rude, angry woman. She was unhappy. She was one of the most undignified women in the entire Bible. A wife of a leader that was not well spoken of, Zipporah. And the reason is because she's an angry woman. When you were marrying me, you didn't tell me that you are going to be leading a nation. When you were marrying me, you didn't tell me that you're going to go back to Egypt. I'm a Midianitish woman. This is my home. I thought you came here to be with us for life. Now you are pointing me to Egypt. And not that we're even going to Egypt to stay there for a long time. You're saying we're going to Egypt, and then from Egypt we're going somewhere. And the place we're going to, you don't even have a mental map or coordinate. We're just going somewhere to the land of Canaan. It's not like there's a specificity involved. So I want you to understand the frustration of the woman. She married him before he discovered his purpose. That's the point I'm making. She married him before he discovered himself. And upon discovering his assignment, he realized she had no capacity for his assignment. Write that down. Always pursue capacity in people for your assignment. Anybody you want to marry, Please, don't look at their beauty. Don't look at their handsome look. Do they have capacity for the woman you are becoming? Do they have capacity for the assignment you are going to be pursuing? It's okay to marry me as Moses that you see in the Midian. Can you handle Moses that will be leading the nation? Oh, come on. Whoa. Don't mind me, I just felt something on the inside. You see, it's easy to marry the Moses who takes care of your father's sheep. It's easy to marry Moses in Midian, who is taking care of this little flock. The question is, can you be a wife to a Moses that will be leading a nation? It's easy to marry, a woman who is, so to say right now, looking like A or just B. Can you handle her when she begins to evolve into more than A and B? So it's critical to begin to look for capacity. Capacity. Capacity is the ability to contain, to retain, to have, to carry weight, responsibilities. So when you're trying to marry somebody, when your children want to get married, what you are looking for in the person your children will be marrying is not current position or situation. You want to carefully look for future possibilities in terms of capacity. Now, how do you do that? I've done trainings on how you can figure that out. So you have to go back to my previous teachings. Let's proceed a little bit further. So you see a situation whereby we see Moses leading a whole nation out of Egypt. He led them out. His ministry was successful. He crossed the Red Sea. Nobody has ever done that in history. So Moses' ministry was a landmark ministry. It was a trailblazing, pace-setting, trend-setting ministry. Moses' ministry was the first of his kind. But that same man who was having this great success in ministry was struggling in his marriage. In fact, historians had it that Zipporah decided when Moses was leaving Egypt that she was not going to leave Egypt, that she was going back to Midian. And then at some point they said she came to meet him at Horeb. And then when she met him at Horeb also, things didn't go well. Eventually Zipporah died. And then there are some theologians who said, and Moses married again. The whole drama, whether he married again or not, is to tell you that Moses was not a happy man at home. Successful outside, but unhappy at home. And there are people watching me right now. Please, can you help share this to pastors' forum and all of that? Because there are pastors watching me. There are reverends watching me. There are bishops watching me. The truth is, pastors don't talk. Pastors mostly are unhappy. Pastors' wives are depressed. Because we are not supposed to talk. But we're going through so much. Because many of us didn't have a good understanding of what our future was going to be looking like. So we married based on our judgment of our immediate situation years gone by. Now we are evolving into some things that God is calling us into. And then we are realizing that either the husband doesn't have capacity for where the wife is going to, or the wife does not have capacity for where the husband is going to. Wow. This is becoming very interesting today. Somebody said, what happens when the woman of God or the man of God, when they were single, the anointing was working, then after marriage, most of them go mute? Is it that their partner mutes their ministry in the spirit? Look at the question you just asked me now. Down on my knees, Lillian, thank you so very much for the question. This is a very important question Lillian just asked. Pastor Sam, what happens? People were on fire. People were doing extremely well. And then they get married. And then all of a sudden they fizzle away. You know this is a common experience. It's all about the marriage. It's all about the marriage. You get married to the wrong person, your destiny will be muted. Period. Your destiny goes on mute. You get married to the wrong person, your fire will be extinguished. Your passion will be depleted. Your zeal will fizzle out. It takes a lot of stamina. It takes a lot of mind control, mind stability for you to be in a bad marriage and be accomplishing great things in ministry. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot, and please let me say it, never try it, because you may not survive it. There are people that have mastered how to keep their emotions together whilst going through a bad marriage until the day God will deliver them from it. So please take note of this very carefully. I like it. Somebody said, wow, we're learning so much. Somebody said, you get to marry water or fire. Well, you marry fire, you get on fire. You marry water, it quenches your fire. Period. I see people tagging their friends saying that you better join us here right now. God bless you for doing that to your friends. God bless you. You better join us right now. So don't forget this. There are individuals who have ministries, who have businesses, who have, jobs, companies. Their businesses are thriving. Their careers are thriving, but their marriages are in a mess. They don't like to go home. They like to stay in a hotel. Something happened in my city here. A woman called me and she said, look, Sam, I'd like to stay with you, Pastor Sam. And I went straight to her house, big house, big house, multi-millionaire and all of that family. And then when I got there, she said, Pastor Sam, look at what I'm going through. I said, man, what's going on? She said, do you know that my husband is in this same city with me? And I'm hearing my husband is in the city. She said, but Pastor Sam, my husband is in a hotel. He has gotten a suite for himself. And that she hears he's been home for 3 months. And the husband doesn't even care to come. That he only came once, came to pick his clothes and left. Why? He's got the money. What is he avoiding? The wife at home. Big house, but he prefers to stay in a hotel. And he's the CEO of a multi-million dollar company. Doing so very well. But the only thing he avoids is home. He doesn't want to go home. So when I'm talking to you, cuts across. There are individuals whose greatest nightmare is going home. It's going home. Adebanjo, God bless you. You said I just shared to 90 groups. Adebanjo Damilola, God bless you. Make sure you reach out to me also. Is that okay? God bless you. I love you all. God bless you. All right. Don't forget this. It is dangerous to ignore who you marry, because if you do that, it will be at your expense. So there are people whose careers are doing very well. They are singing very well. You remember the case of Whitney Houston. I'm sure some of you know the story of Whitney Houston. The only challenge with Whitney Houston was her marriage. She was married to Bobby Brown. That was a problem. And everybody would always tell you that, look, Bobby's marriage to her was the wrong influence. Whatever the story is, whether Bobby influenced her wrongly or she influenced Bobby wrongly, and their little girl who also died after the mother died. What very tragic situation in that family. I'm sure you all remember Michael Jackson, how he chose to pursue his own career without getting married. Because again, marriage was something that I think he found as a major challenge, so he decided to stay single. See, the point I'm making is, when it comes to this mix, you either have a marriage, you have a ministry, a career that is thriving and don't have any connection with somebody you're married to, or 2, you have marriage, you don't have anything to do with career pursuit, or 3, you have a career, a ministry, a business that is thriving, but your marriage is struggling, or you have number 4, a marriage that is working, but your career and your business is struggling. You are married, but your career is struggling. Is that because you don't have good exposure, good education, good expertise, good encounters, or good experiences? These are the major E's you need in order to take your career, your business, your ministry to the next level. You need good exposure, good encounters, good experience. You need to have good expertise. You need to make sure that you have good relationships. It's critical. Number 5, this is what everybody wants. You want to have a ministry and a marriage that is working effectively. Your ministry is doing well. Your career is doing well. And at the same time, your marriage is doing very well. Isn't that what you want? I want you to look at my hands right now. These are 2 hands spread out. Every airplane you see flies on 2 wings, right? Now, I want you to imagine that your marriage and your career all doing very well. Your flight will be amazing in life. Your flight will be amazing in life. But it is dangerous for you to have good career, bad marriage, or good marriage and bad career. It creates a wobbling life. Yes. Let's take it now further now. I want to take you a little bit further. So I shared with you how that if you look at the life of Abraham, and Sarah, you discover that Abraham and Sarah, they both had a ministry and a marriage that worked. Abraham was successful. In fact, the Bible says Abraham and Sarah were very wealthy. So they did well in their business. They had a very successful business. They were wealthy. And at the same time, they had a marriage that worked. The only incident in their marriage was the case of them having a child with Hagar. And even then, when Sarah said to Abraham, I don't want this woman in my house anymore, Abraham went to pray and God said, listen to what Sarah says. Can you imagine God referring a man back to his wife and telling the man, go and listen to your wife. What she told you is correct. And Sarah told him, get rid of this woman. I want my marriage back. And so Abraham had a very wealthy family and then he had a very healthy marriage. Isn't that what you're looking for? Healthy marriage, wealthy family, wealthy business, wealthy man. You have money, you have marriage. You have money, you have a ministry. Abraham also had a ministry because through him, the nations of the earth were to be blessed. So this man had a successful ministry, he had a successful marriage, and he had a successful enterprise. He had money. He had so much money. And that is my prayer for you, that you will have the same. As you look at the case of Moses and Zipporah, which I mentioned to you before, it is something nobody wants to experience. So now let's get straight. This is where you need to write now. Somebody said, Lord, help me so that I'll be able to take the right decisions to accomplish your assignment. That is a big prayer you need to pray every day. Somebody said, Rev Sam, you are a great example of having a great marriage and a ministry indeed. Well, thank you so very much, Erica Paul. It's a lot of work. Let me tell you this, Erica, don't think it's easy. It takes a lot of work. It's 20 years my wife and I were working on each other. We're still a work in progress, but we are committed. That's the point. We are committed to working it out. All right? So please take note that it will not work until you work on it. It won't work out until you work on it. So don't let anybody make you feel that a successful marriage just happens overnight. No, it's a lot of work, okay? Let's get down to the secret of having a successful marriage, relationship, and career. What are the major things? Number 1, you need to manage your assignment and your marriage uniqueness. What that means is that number 1, uniqueness. Focus on uniqueness. If you are going to have a successful relationship and marriage, you can actually take a screenshot of the points I'm making on the screen. You can take a screenshot of it. You can actually post it on your feed. Is that okay? Number 1, if you're going to have a successful career and marriage, you need to make sure that you deal with uniqueness. What that means is that recognize and accept the fact that the person you're going to be married to is totally different from you in background, in worldview, in perspective. The person is totally different from you in terms of temperament, in terms of predisposition, in terms of perception, orientation. The person is different. The person is unique. All right? There are points of similarity and there are points of departure. There are areas where you and the person seem to be similar. And there are areas where you are different. Now, your similarity will make for success. For comfort. When you are similar, you become comfortable. Your differences, when it is blended, produces success. So what brings success in marriage is the blending of difference. What brings comfort in relationship is the blending of similarities. Are you getting that now? I need to say that again. What gives you comfort in relationship is the management of your similarity. What do we have in common? She likes to swim. I like to swim. So when we go to swim together, we are comfortable around each other. He likes to watch movie. I like to watch movie. She likes outback life. He likes to go out on adventure. I like adventure. She likes food. I like food. Our similarity creates comfort. Okay? But if we're going to be successful, it is the blending of our differences. That is why the wisest of all couples are couples who celebrate their uniqueness. They don't attack their uniqueness. They don't speak against their uniqueness. Wise couples who do exceptionally well recognize and accept their uniqueness. You never use your uniqueness to speak against your partner, because what makes you unique may be the reason why your partner needs you. So the weakness of your partner is your strength. Similarly, your weakness is your partner's strength. It is a combination of your strength canceling out your partner's weakness and your partner's strength canceling out your weakness that produce a strong marriage. So watch my fingers. See, this is how all of us come in this life. We all have strengths. My fingers are the strengths. The space in between my fingers are the weaknesses of Sam Oye. All right? Don't forget what I just showed you now. My fingers are my strength. They are my strengths. All right? But the spaces in between them, they are my weaknesses. Okay? So Mary Oye comes. Watch this carefully. Mary Oye also have her strengths. Okay? But don't forget the spaces in between have our own weaknesses too. So 20 years ago, when we came into the marriage, instead of attacking each other, no, we decided to slide into each other, slide. Now watch this. You can't see through my hands. Why? Because her strength came to make up for my weakness. My weakness was taken over by her strength. My strength takes over her weakness. So you see us as a strong couple. We are not strong all together individually. We are strong because we couple. Is that okay? So we make up for each other's weaknesses. Isn't that amazing? So we make up for each other's weaknesses. She covers me up and I cover her up. And it is what marriage was designed to be. I will make for him a helpmeet. The word helpmeet is the word heiser. It means I will make for him someone who completes him. So Mary completes me. She comes to slide into my inadequacies and she brings me strength. This is what it is all about. I like the way this is going. So don't forget this. If you're going to have a very successful career and marriage, you celebrate your uniqueness. Number two, you want to manage your expectations. Discuss your expectations. Career expectations, children expectation, parenting expectation, financial expectations. What are you expecting out of the marriage? Frustration abounds in relationship where expectations are not discussed. Come on, write that down. Where frustrations abound, discussion about expectations usually are not present. So when you want to deal with frustration in a marriage, discuss expectations. Make sure that expectations are not internalized, meaning you are not always saying, I expect him to know that I want him to hold me now. No, if you want him to hold you, tell him, I like it when you hold me. If you like him buying gifts when he's coming from work, tell him, sweetheart, when I coming home, oh, fantastic. Please, I would really appreciate it if on your way back, you stop to help me buy a little bit of apple. Is that okay? That used to be my job. My wife will tell me, look, I want you to get me this. So now watch this carefully. When you tell me, look, I will be so glad if you buy me some apples and stuff like that. And then tomorrow again, so that I hope it's closing time. You're about leaving. Please don't forget to stop by that place to buy me apples. And then if you do that consistently, after a while, you will not need to tell him again. He will by default begin to do it. As against you sitting down, he came back from work, he didn't bring you apple, and you're swelling. You're swelling with rage. You're swelling with anger. You're feeling like you should get a knife and stab this guy. How dare he come back home without bringing me apple? How dare he? He should have known that I needed apple. I mean, look, my heart, I've been looking for apple, and he didn't bring me apple when he was coming home. Couldn't he have known? I thought he said he's filled with the Holy Spirit and he has the spirit of discernment. Even Elisha, who was a prophet of God, when the woman came to tell him about what happened to her son, Elisha said, the Lord hid it from me. If things can be hidden from such a major prophet, your husband is not a major prophet. He has not even joined the league of prophets yet. So how do you expect him to read your mind from work? That there are 3 apples you are expecting in your mind. I mean, like I'm in the office. The frustration at work alone. And you're not expecting a man to come home expecting. Now, here's the point. Does that mean a man should not be concerned about his wife? What I'm saying is, if there are expectations, discuss them often. Now, when you discuss that often, the person will get into a default mode where the person responds to your expectation without being told again. Somebody said, I just found a new mentor in relationship, Rev Sam. This teaching is so deep. Thank you so very much. Just go ahead and share the video. Just help me share the video. Go ahead and just do that right now. Yeah, thank you so very much. Yes. So please, we don't have discernment of apples. We discern spirits. So I can't discern when you want me to bring you apples to the house. I mean, you tell me, text me. Sweetheart, I'll be so glad if you stop by and bring me some apples. And I'll stop by. You do that again 2 days, 3 days. By the time you do that 1 week, sweetheart, don't worry. It seems you like apples. So every time when I'm coming from work, by default, I just drive straight and I pick up the apples and I bring home. So you have coached me into your expectations. As against getting frustrated because I'm not meeting your unknown expectation. I don't know you need it. I don't know you like apples, and you expect me of all the fruits in this world. I'm supposed to go into the spirit realm and figure out which one you like without telling me. Whilst God can reveal that, it's not all the time. And if you're waiting for God to reveal it, the answer may come when you are 50 years old. So tell me now. Tell me now, okay? So management of expectation. Highly successful couples, they manage expectations very well. What are we expecting? When our children come, how do we train them? Do we fight? Do we quarrel in the front of our kids? No. What are our expectations? What do we expect of our kids? Make sure expectations are constantly discussed. Number 3, communication. Manage communication properly. If you're going to have a successful ministry, a marriage, your career is going to thrive, and you're going to have a great marriage, make sure you have effective communication. Don't forget what I said yesterday. 2 things makes every power couple to be very successful. It is communication and sex, period. So never forget that. If your marriage and relationship is going to be very strong, don't forget that we have to talk, we have to have sex, okay? So we call it talk, sex, and sex talk. I'm going to say that now. Write it down. Just look at it. It's called talk versus sex, and then sex versus talk. Everyone watching me right now, you belong to either of this. You are either the type that likes talk, and then when we talk, it makes you have sex. If you're married, you like talk to lead to sex. All right? Then there are people who like sex to lead to talk. So it's important to know who you are. And please remember that if you are the talk sex, then make sure you let your partner know that you like conversation. And it is incumbent upon your partner, when your partner knows you like conversation, to offer you conversation, because conversation will lead to sex. And if you are the type that likes sex before you talk, make sure that sex is given. If you are a person and your partner likes sex, if you take away sex, you will not have talk. There are many of you who are telling me, Pastor Sam, I don't know why my husband is not talking to me. My husband is not talking to me. We don't talk in the house because there's no sex in the house. Give sex, you have talk. And for those of you that want to have sex, you better give talk. So whatever the dynamic mix is, it's important. I know I just set some people free right now. Somebody scream Jesus. Woo! Thank you so much. These are the things you learn when you come on this platform. I just gave you something that can change the whole of your marriage. Talk, sex, sex, talk. Talk to sex, not sex to talk. Somebody, that's for somebody. And for somebody else, talk to sex and not the other way around. So communications. Now, the other thing I want to quickly share with you as my time begins to elapse is to tell you that one of the things that makes ministries and marriages to be very effective is what I call demands. Understanding the demands of your marriage and your relationship. What will it take for us to have a successful marriage? What will it cost? And then be willing to give it what it takes. Number two, you want to know the demands. What will it take to please my partner? What will it take to please my wife, my husband? And be willing to give it. Otherwise, step out of marriage. You can't be in a marriage where you're not meeting demands and you continually occupy space. You know physics very well. Matter is anything that occupies space. Is that okay? So, it's dangerous for you to occupy space and render no service in marriage. Now, let's take it to the next level. You better know the demands of your job, your assignment. If I'm married to a politician, I should know the demands of a political office. I'm not going to see my husband all the time. Number two, women will snap picture with my husband. They will send him strange pictures. They will send him nude pictures. Women will do that unsolicited. When my wife is in politics, I should know that men are going to make advances to her. It doesn't necessarily mean that my wife is a flirt. It's the demands of her assignment. Two, by virtue of the fact that my wife or my husband is in the political space, they will always have meetings into late night. Understand the demands of your partner's assignment so that that does not become the basis for the conflict in the relationship. I see some of you already clicking up right now. Okay, so demands matters a lot. I think when I start talking about power couple next week, we're going to push a little bit more into this. Understand the seasons. The seasons. Marriages have seasons. Individuals have seasons. Careers have seasons. High seasons, low seasons, good seasons, not so good seasons, successful seasons, and not so successful seasons. Here's the point. Whatever season your marriage, ministry, assignment, business is going through, one of the major words you must master as a couple is adaptation. Adapt. Learn to adapt quickly to the season you find yourself in. Don't be dressed in summer clothes when you find yourself in winter. Don't be dressed in summer clothes when you find yourself in winter. You're going to freeze to death. So be quick to adapt to the seasons of your marriage. If it's plenty, when you are in the season of plenty, enjoy it. When you are not in that season, adjust. Stop living in the time of scarcity as if you have surplus. Make adjustments. It's called adaptation. This is very, very critical. If you're going to have a successful marriage and career, set goals together. Set goals together. What is our goal? Our goal is your goal plus my goal together is our goal. I need to know what you are pursuing. You need to know what I am pursuing. We need to know what we are pursuing. Your goal, my goal, our goal. We bring all of it together and then we are always in prayer. I'm praying for you to succeed. You're praying for me to succeed. So there's management of goals. And then, of course, challenges. There will be challenges along the path, along the way. Very successful couples who are successful in their careers and in their businesses, they manage challenges with wisdom. They know that challenges are not going to be forever. So they do not deal with challenges by making statements that after the challenge is over becomes irretrievable. Mind what you say when you are dealing with temporal challenges, because after the challenge is over, the words may not be retrievable. So manage challenges carefully with a lot of maturity. Highly successful couples who are doing very well in their marriage, in their careers, in their businesses, are couples who have clear priorities, well-defined priorities. What are the most important things that we will commit ourselves to? Prioritization is very critical to actualization. Prioritization is critical to actualization, meaning you can't actualize if you do not prioritize. What are the most important things we must give our time, our money, and our energy to? Prioritize. Prioritize. Oh, thank you so very much, Phyllis. Phyllis said, please let us click the like button to spread this word. God bless you as you click the like button. God bless you, Phyllis. Can everybody please do that? All of you on YouTube, go ahead, please, and click the like button before you leave. Is that okay? Click the like button. And everyone on Facebook, make sure you share before you leave. Everybody should share and share again. All right? So that people get to watch this later. All right? Highly successful couples also are mindful of what you call interferences, and they manage it very well. Here's what I'm saying. Once you prioritize in order to actualize, you will deal with interferences. We call them distraction. What highly successful couples do is that they are constantly on the watch for whatever can be an interference with the pursuit of their priorities, and they eliminate such. Can I say that again? Highly successful couples, high-performing couples, power couples, one of the things that they do is that they are always watching out for whatever and whoever is going to become an interference, a distraction to the pursuit of their priority. And what they do is that they eliminate such a thing or such a person from their equation. They get rid of anything or anyone that can become a distraction, an interference to the pursuit of their goals. Don't be lenient with people that can distract you. A day's distraction can cause you a year's problem. A day's distraction can cause you a lifetime challenge. So mind where distractions come from. Mind where interferences come from and make sure you deal with them. If the interference is coming from your family, deal with your family members with wisdom. If it's coming from your friends, deal with them with wisdom. If your right hand will cause you to sin, Jesus said, if your right hand will interfere with your walk with God, cut it off. In the same vein, if this person, this thing, watching this, going for movies, going alone to clubs, if that is going to affect your marriage, cut it off. I'm sure that some of you know that one of the major reasons why Bill Gates' wife had to leave him, from what she said publicly, was his relationship with Weinstein. She said she's not happy with her husband's relationship with that guy. And she called him, she told him, but he will not listen. That has cost him, partly has cost him, his own marriage. Because that was an interference with his own marriage. If there's a secretary, somebody you are working with in your office, you are the owner of the company, and there's this secretary, she's always coming into your life, and she's always creating moral issues for you. Get rid, you employed her, fire her. Give her, pay her well, and send her away instead of praying about her. Why pray about a woman you can pay away? Pay her off and just fire her. Just let her go. Wow. Finances. Highly successful couples, They make sure that they manage their finances together. Listen, highly successful couples, they make money together, they manage money together, they multiply money together, and they enjoy money together. Is that okay? So they make it together, they manage it together, they multiply it together, they manage it together, and they enjoy the money together. Jesus said, you are those who have labored with me. He said, come and enjoy in my Father's kingdom. So Jesus said, look, if you have suffered with me, you should reign with me too. So hello, sir. If your wife has suffered with you, let her reign with you. Hello, ma'am. If your husband was there when you had to go to college, he was taking care of children. When you went to university, your husband was taking care of the kids. Your husband has been there for you. You can't treat him badly when God has blessed you. Enjoy together. I love you so very much, but it's how much time that I have to share with you today. I will be back with you same time next week, Monday and Tuesday, 8 p.m. and we'll be talking about power couples. You don't want to miss out on that, and I hope that you get to share today's broadcast with some of your friends. And don't forget, at 5:50 a.m. West African time tomorrow, we are going to be connecting together in the presence of God. Please, I'd like you to join us in God's presence as we pray together for you and all the men in our lives. Can't wait to connect with you. And until I see you, this is Sam Oye saying, keep on keeping on. Bye-bye.